Hola y bienvenidos a una sesión de práctica de Cada Día Spanish. Hello and welcome to a practice session for Cada Día Spanish. I'll see you soon. Just watch this video to show you what Cada Día Spanish is about. Don't go anywhere. That video showed you some of the activities that we like to do at Cada Día Spanish. Of course, that's not limited to only those activities. You can do any activities you want, but that's just an example of the activities that we planned for our Cada Día Spanish program. Today is a very short practice session because we are testing a new platform called Webinar Jam. So we would like to see and hear your input. For right now, for example, I'm testing how to show one question. It says, ¿Te gusta hablar español? You can see the question below. And so type in the chat, ¿Te gusta hablar español? Do you like to speak Spanish? We say, me gusta. Me gusta. Well, the answer to that question can actually be sí or no. But we say me gusta. Me gusta hablar español. Me gusta hablar español. I like to speak Spanish. But today I'm actually gonna challenge you. Oh, hola Shelly. I see Shelly. Hola Shelly. Today I like to challenge the way we think about the verb gustar, because when we learn about the verb gustar, sometimes it creates a few problems. We think of gustar the same way as the verb to like. So when people think of I like, they try to think of the word gustar and conjugate it and say yo gusto. Yo gusto. Why? Because in Spanish we conjugate the verbs and we change, that means we change the verb depending on who is doing the action, what person is doing the action. So let me show you here an example. When we have a verb in Spanish, for example, oh, here's, by the way, the link to our Cada Día Spanish community. We would like you to join our community. So when we have a verb in Spanish, for example, hablar, to talk, when we want to say I talk, we say yo hablo. We change this ending AR to the ending O. Yo hablo. And we have the verb gustar, and that we use when we want to talk about things that we like. But I'm going to challenge you, and instead of thinking I like, I want you to think it's pleasing to me. When I say me gusta, we literally translate it as, or not literally, but the translation would be I like one thing. So we say me gusta when I like just only one thing. And we're going to say me gustan when I like more than one thing. We do not say yo gusto blah, blah, blah. That's not the way we use gustar. So if you get confused, just think of me gusta as if we were saying it is pleasing to me. So for example, or it is pleasing to me. So for example, strawberry is pleasing to me. So the verb we're using is pleasing. So one thing. If it is plural, strawberries are pleasing to me. So that when in Spanish we use gustan for plural. Okay, so if you think of it of that way, this me at the beginning is the person who is going to be pleased. We're going to keep it simple today, and we're going to say when it's pleasing to me. So we say me gusta. If it is pleasing to someone else, we will use a different pronoun. Great. So we can say me gusta for an object. For example, me gusta el coche. I like the car, or the car is pleasing to me. And we can say me gusta for an activity. For example, me gusta cantar. I like singing, or I like to sing. Now, if we have plural, we can say me gustan las frutas. Plural here, we're saying I like fruits, or fruits are pleasing to me. Or we can say activities. For example, I can say me gustan los deportes. Me gustan los deportes. I like sports, or sports are pleasing to me. Okay? Or I can say two things. Me gustan la manzana y, oh, let's say we are at the store. I could say, me gustan la camisa roja y el pantalón azul. I like the red shirt and the blue trousers. Okay? Muy bien. And some people say los pantalones. Me gustan los pantalones. It's the same. Good. So let's try in the chat to use me gusta. Everybody join me and say me gusta. Shelly said me gusta español. Muy bien, Shelly. Let's try to think of something else that we like. For example, in the chat, I can say me gusta, or me gusta bailar. Me gusta bailar. I like to dance. Me gusta bailar. I like to dance. Shelly said earlier, me gusta habla español. Me gusta habla español. When we mention an activity, we have to add the verb in infinitive. So we have to say, me gusta hablar español. Me gusta hablar español. So because we are using me gusta, something is pleasing to me. Hablar is the name of the action. I like to talk, we say in English. We don't say I like talk. We say I like to talk, or I like talking. I like to sing, or I like singing. In Spanish, we use the infinitive, which is the verb ending in the AR or ER or IR. Me gusta hablar español. Muy bien, me gusta hablar español. Teresa dice, me gusta mi profesor. Who could that be? Me gusta mi profesor. Okay. Gracias, Teresa. Muy bien. And now, I would like to play a video for you. We're going to hear a lady talking about things that she things that she likes. Please use the chat to write as many things that you can hear from her. It's very short, so try to hear. We'll probably listen to it a couple of times. Listen to it and use the chat to write as many things that she likes. So here we go. Me gusta y me gustan. Okay, how did it go? Were you able to hear some of the activities that she likes? She said a couple of times, me gusta, me gustan, and she also mentioned some of the activities that she likes to do. She likes many sports. I think that's one of her favorite things. Sports in Spanish, or most of the time, sports in Spanish, have names that are very similar to English names. So we're going to play it again and try to listen carefully what sports she likes or what other activities she likes. Here we go. Listen and write those activities in the chat. ¿Listos? Ready? Aquí vamos. Muy bien. How did it go this time? I hope you were able to understand a little more. We have Shelly, who said, or she heard, me gusta nadar. Did this lady said me gusta nadar? We'll see. I'm going to show you now the text of what this lady said. She's from Mexico. And then you're going to watch it one more time. So after seeing the text, you can watch it one more time to see if you can understand a little more of what she's saying. And right after that, anyone who's watching right now, I'm going to invite you to join me live here with me so that you can tell me using your voice things that you like. Now we are testing a new platform called Webinar Jam. I'm going to invite you through the Webinar Jam platform. We'll see if that works. If that doesn't work, then I can always invite you directly into the Hangout. So first, we are going to have a look at the words that this lady said in the video. She said, me gustan todos los deportes. I like all sports, pero especialmente la natación. That is swimming. Normalmente nado 2 o 3 veces por semana. Usually, I swim 2 or 3 times per week. Otro deporte que me gusta es el tenis. Now, she's only mentioned one sport here, deporte. So we say que me gusta tenis. Remember I told you that some of the sports in Spanish are similar to English? Here's an example, tennis. What other things does she like? También me gusta el arte. I also like art. Me gusta ir a conciertos de rock. o a conciertos de música clásica. So even if you don't know all the words, by now we know me gusta, saying that something is pleasing to me or that something I like. And here's some words that are similar to English. Concierto de rock. What could that be? A rock concert. O concierto de música clásica. A classic music concert. And finally she says, pero cualquier actividad que yo practique, me gusta hacerla con la gente que quiero. But any activities that I would practice, I like to do it. Me gusta hacerla. I like to do it with the people I like or the people I love. Okay? So now that we know the text a little better, let's hear and watch the video one more time, one last time, and see if you can understand a little more. And right after that, get ready. Whoever is watching online, I'm going to invite you all to join me. And so you can practice for a couple of minutes with me live and say what you like. But for now, watch the video one more time and see if you can understand a little better. Muy bien, muy bien. I hope that it helped you looking at the text before to understand the video a little better. I'm gonna invite you to join me to the Hangout. We'll see if it works. And while I do that, I would like anyone watching, either live or the recording, to join us to our Cada Día Spanish Google Plus community. The Cada Día Spanish Google Plus community is for a lot of people who want to learn and practice Spanish. We don't actually have Spanish classes per se. Today it's a little bit of different because it's a test. But at the Cada Día Spanish community, we share with each other what we learn. And so go ahead and click on the Cada Día Spanish community offer that you see on Webinar Jam. And there you can connect with us. You will learn when we start the program again and when we have other practice sessions. And that way you can practice the Spanish you're learning. Shelly, ¿me escuchas?
Hola.
Hola, Shelly.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Bueno.
Bien, muy bien. Gusto en verte. Qué bueno que estás aquí. Muy bien, Shelly. Today we've been practicing me gusta or me gustan. So I would like you to give me a few examples, if you will.
Me gusta nadar. Me gusta walk.
Caminar. Me gusta.
Caminar.
Me
Caminar.
gusta caminar.
Caminar. Running. Me gusta
Correr.
correr. Me gusta correr.
Me
Gracias.
gusta correr. So I'm going to write those in the chat so that everyone can see. So we say, you said, me gusta nadar. You wrote it before. Then we added, me gusta caminar. Me gusta correr. Correr. Muy bien. Me gusta caminar y me gusta correr. Muy bien. So now you saw from the example in the video that we can use me gusta with different activities. But we can also say me gusta with singers, cities that we like, or objects. Por ejemplo, me gusta mi teléfono. Me gusta, me gusta mi teléfono. Me encanta. Yo amo mi teléfono. O, um, of course, not always we're gonna like everything. So we can add no before me gusta to talk about something we don't like. Por ejemplo, I have a lot of things that I like here, but uh, no me gusta matemáticas. Oh no, math. No me gusta matemáticas. What did I say? Hola, Teresa.
Hola.
No, me gusta matemática, me gusta matemática. Teresa, ¿te gusta matemática?
Mucho, sí.
Excelente, muy bien. ¿Y qué más te gusta?
Me gusta nadar también
Muy
como
bien.
Shell. Y me gusta mi esposo.
Ajá, eso es muy importante. Esposo. Shelly, do you know the word in English for esposo?
Spouse, husband. In
Sí,
my case, husband.
sí, excelente. Muy bien. Um, so we saw how to say I like. We are going to see how do we ask a question. We can ask for something specific. So for example, I can say, ¿te gusta nadar? That would be a yes no question. So someone would say sí or no. But if we want to ask what someone's like, ¿qué te gusta? ¿Qué te gusta? Oops, there we are. ¿Qué te gusta? ¿Qué te gusta? When we ask ¿qué te gusta, it's what you like in general. So again, I was telling Shelly, we don't have to mention an activity. It could be an object, or it could be a song, it could be a person. Although in that case we say ¿quién te gusta? Okay. So I'm going to ask you ¿qué te gusta? And try to think maybe of an object or a city, not an activity. Okay. Shelly, ¿qué te gusta?
Me gusta London.
Londres. Sí, muy bonito.
Londres, gracias.
Londres, muy bien. Y Teresa, ¿qué te gusta?
Me gusta San Petersburgo
Ah, ¿en Florida o en Rusia?
en Rusia.
Porque hay San Petersburgo en Florida.
Sí, lo
Me, gu-
sé.
me gusta San Petersburgo en Florida. Muy bien. Ahora, Shelly, pregunta a Paulino.
Sí.
Pregunta, ¿qué te gusta,
¿Qué te
Paulino?
gusta, Paulino?
Me gusta el helado. Ice cream. Me gusta
Ah,
el helado como Ben and Jerry's.
mm.
Teresa, pregunta a Paulino.
Am, ¿Te gusta café?
Teresa sabe, sí, yo amo el café. Me gusta el café. Sí, sí, me gusta el café. Muy bien, excelente. Okay. Y I would like also to share with you a question that sometimes confuses people. We're going to go back to asking about activities or things we like to do. When we ask, ¿qué te gusta? ¿Qué te gusta? We're asking, what do you like? And it could be general. It could be for activities or for things, right? So I could say, ¿qué te gusta? You can say, me gusta nadar o me gusta mi teléfono. Okay? Could be an activity. Oh, nadar. There we are. O me gusta mi teléfono. Could be an activity or a thing. But sometimes you'll hear people ask you, ¿qué te gusta hacer? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Hacer is the verb to do. So, what do you like to do? So here we are asking specifically about activities that you like to do or something that you like to do. It could be a sport or it could be an activity like going to the museum. But one thing that many people get confused when they answer is that they're trying to use the verb hacer in the answer. And this is the verb to do. We're not going to use this verb in the answer unless we're talking an activity that uses hacer as part of the activity. An example would be, me gusta hacer ejercicios. Okay? I like to do exercises. Okay? I like to do exercises. Okay? But usually we would just answer with the activity. For example, me gusta nadar. We do not say me gusta hacer nadar. Me gusta hacer nadar. No. Me gusta nadar. Okay? So I'm going to ask you now, Shelly and Teresa, about something that you like to do. So now you have to think of an action. Okay? Shelly,
Sí.
¿qué te gusta hacer?
Me gusta ir a concierto de música clásica.
Muy bien. Me gusta ir al concierto de música clásica, like the lady we saw in the video. Excellent.
Sí.
Excellent. Muy bien. Y Teresa, ¿qué te gusta hacer?
Me gusta leer los libros.
Excelente. Me gusta leer los libros. Muy bien. Muchas gracias. Now, this is just the beginning. This is a short test about for Cada Día Spanish sessions about this platform. I'm going to ask Shelly and Teresa to stay just 1 minute with me. Don't go away. But to everyone else, I would say gracias. Thank you very much for joining us today. If you're watching a replay, there is a box at the bottom right where you can send questions about Spanish or about the Cada Día Spanish program, and I'll be happy to answer those. And for everyone also watching the replay, if you have any comments about how things work or any feedback, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so Teresa and Shelly, just stay here, don't go anywhere. But to everyone else watching live or watching the recording, muchas gracias y hasta luego. Adiós.